We have a former Larian employee claiming SA and fascists at the workplace. This comes to us from Pirate Nation, sharing a screenshot from Blue Sky, and you know you're in for a good time with totally normal person over on Blue Sky with this creature called Hash Bandicoot. And before I even get into that, there's a profile screenshot. Hash Bandicoot, game dev, occultist, and fencer. Wait, occultist? So like they praise Satan? A cult? They're like in a cult? Previous Baldur's Gate 3, Mind's Eye, and Wishbound. Okay, and it, by the way, on Blue Sky. Feels like a good time to talk about when Larian employed an outright fascist and refused to fire him. I didn't know that being a fascist was a fireable offense. I wonder what were they doing to exhibit fascism? Over COVID, one of our engineers was radicalized. Next time we saw him, he was watching Tim Pool videos. Oh, how was he not fired? He watched Tim Pool? What a fascist. And telling us about cultural Marxism at work drinks. The whole 9 yards. Man, this guy sounds horrible. Before I even go further, if you were to hire this Hash Bandicoot person at your company, don't come crying to me when you're dealing with lawsuits, allegations, other employees fighting with them all the time, frustrated, people quitting, leaving because they can't deal with them. That's all on you. This person is clearly a problem themselves. After a while, he had a little cohort of freaks. Imagine calling this person and a group of them a cohort of freaks. They would lose their mind, but it's okay for them to project that on other people that shared some of his sentiments. Everyone was uncomfortable with this guy. Folks went to Swen and said, and by the way, Swen's the head of Larian, and said, hey, this guy is a weirdo fascist. He's making everyone uncomfortable. He's at odds with the team's values. Oh, so this is the diversity I hear so much about. You have someone that has a different perspective than everyone else in the cult at your company. And because of that, they're making everyone uncomfortable. And it's at odds with the team's values. Diversity, am I right, guys? Sven's response, he's invaluable to the team. It's too hard to replace him this close to release, in quotes, which I will tell you, there ain't no way Sven would say that to an employee at the company. Word for word like that. You would not say it's too hard to replace him this close to release to an employee. Saying, yes, I'd totally fire him, but no, because we need him right now. No, they don't talk like this. Naturally, the vibes got worse. Hanging out at lunch now sucks because these guys might bring their bigotry. Oh man, this cohort, it's not just one guy. It's now a group at the company that has been radicalized and bringing their bigotry. Like complaining that Aragorn is black and the new MTG crossover set. Oh no, a conversation that makes you uncomfortable? Not that. And there's a lot of minorities on the team, yet bigots abound in the studio. Swen is happy to profit off the cachet of making a woke game while letting bigots endanger minorities at his studio. My worst experience as a trans woman. Okay, so you're a mentally ill dude. There is no such thing as trans women. Was shortly after coming out in work. And by the way, this is all assuming that this person is authentic, actually working at Larian, and not just a crazy person on Blue Sky doing this for attention. So take this all with a grain of salt. We don't have their name. We don't know their specific position and what they did there. So this is all just a trust me, bro, that they even worked there, which I believe they did because the game industry does have a lot of these crazy lunatics in it. And this definitely checks those boxes. One of the other office weirdos. So now we have another one. And SH aficionado, Felix Padula, current CDPR employee, walked past me in the office one day. He makes a weird remark about my tits. And then to confirm something, grabs my crotch in the middle of the office. No fear, no shame. So I think this is the portion that everyone's going to hear and think exactly the same thing. X'd out. That doesn't happen. No way that happened. No way. Like that does not happen. That the way you just explained it does not happen. And if people were to give you the benefit of the doubt and the believe all women whenever something you say is crazy that actually happened, that to just believe you, you did not go directly to HR, contact a lawyer, quit the job and be like, this is too much for me. You just went on your merry way and just carried on after a dude did that in the middle of the office in front of everyone. No one else had any issues with it either. Weird. But why not report it? Well, the ship had sailed. Oh, okay. Believe me, guys, I totally would have reported it, but the ship sailed. That's why I couldn't. We had unchecked fascists in the office, people taking the piss out of Baldur 3 gender options, multiple cases of sexual harassment, and more. More importantly, we were told that if someone is important enough, they will not be dealt with. Okay, this used to work. It really did. It doesn't work anymore. This is completely meaningless shit that you're saying. No, because it's been used to cry wolf too many times where people just tired of it. Like, no, if you got a problem, go to HR. Like, sorry, don't go cry on the internet saying you had sexual harassment at the office and people touched you and did things to you. No, the fuck they didn't. You'd be on the phone with your lawyer yesterday as soon as it happened. There's no way. There's no way. This is directly from the Blue Sky. This new guy says, it really bugs me that Lucian should unionize is the knee-jerk response to the AI crap. If there was a Lucian union, this guy would have had union protection and thus would be even more difficult to fire. Hash Bandicoot, I need you to know I'm extremely pro-union. A union would make it easier to fire him. Collective bargaining can pressure the boss into dealing with the situation. Without a union, you just have the boss's discretion. This doesn't know. That's not how it works. Bro, holy shit. I can't even with these people. Apparently, this is making the rounds on many different boards. NeoGAF. We got this one. Fem boards. Former Larian employee claims SA and harassment, and also the unwillingness to fire a fascist despite employees' protest. Which again, okay. This guy said, I am curious. Have you talked about this before? Or do you feel more comfortable with talking about it now due to the recent negative turn against Larian? Which, again, this is talking about the AI thing that came up with Larian. I do find the timing quite curious that now that there's a lot of eyeballs that are frustrated with the AI situation that got completely blown out of proportion thanks to Jason Schreier's misreporting on it, that now we have another person that's like, oh, people are shitting on him. Time to bring out my massive allegations out of the blue that I've never spoken about before. They said, I totally understand. The fan base can be extremely harsh if they believe their favorite studio can do no wrong. I've talked about it privately, but never publicly. The main reason is because this behavior gets you blacklisted in the industry. I mean, I would argue, yes, they are right. False allegations would absolutely get you blacklisted in the industry as well as they should. What proof do you have of anything happening? Outside of you are a crazy person that claims to be a girl when you're a dude. So your word is shit. Nothing you say is believable. Sorry, to me, I'm not going to trust you. Why would I? You've already proven you live in a false reality. So you might be feeling things or seeing things or hearing things in the hallways of the office too. Why? Not a stretch to say. The recent news is just showing the public what Swen was always like. So maybe now people will listen. What Swen was always like? Using AI to storyboard stuff? Like what all companies are doing right now? The hell? Also, I'm out of AAA for good and the industry is collapsing. so I don't have to worry about career retaliation anymore. Overall, it's easier to talk about after the recent news. After Baldur's Gate 3, Larian had a reputation for not being like other studios. A random thread is going to get dismissed as personal grievance. Now it's obvious that Larian is like other studios, something obvious to anyone that worked there. Well, what are the other stories? What are you talking about? This is just you. The hell? What is wrong with this? I mean, I think we already know this is the type of person. I really wanted to talk about this one. This is funny. On NeoGaf, former Larian dev has meltdown, and this guy said, the Reset Terra thread for this is incredible. Can you imagine trying to get someone fired and approaching your CEO because they listened to a bald man's boring podcast? What kind of environment do modern game studios have where everyone who does not fall in line with your personal political opinions deserves to be fired? If I went to my CEO and told him someone was watching Hassan Twitch streams and it doesn't align with my personal values, I imagine he would hit a button on his desk that released a trapdoor under me. Blue Sky should be renamed the Crucible because the amount of meltdowns that happen over there is insurmountable. I just posted to the other thread, but oh well, it seems to be more strictly relevant here. Even putting everything else aside, you can immediately tell that this misogynistic, toxic, straight white male complimented my tits and grabbed my crotch in the middle of the office is a typical case of self-deluded tranny fantasy, and that shit most likely never happened. But of course, Reset Terror is now running away with it, and Swen Vinky has suddenly become the most vile person on the planet for them. These people want nothing more than to watch the industry burn. They love to see the CEOs and people above them crash and burn and collapse down below them so they can say, yes, we took them down. It's the communistic mindset. Their brain is completely rotted. They have been woke to the core. They have no idea how to even think for themselves anymore. Great job hanging a sign around your neck saying, never hire me. That's what I was saying. Like, if this person, which, like I said, I don't know who they are. I tried to do some research, cross-referencing based off of the games they worked on. There are a couple names that populated. I'm not going to start naming them because I don't want to speculate on it. But if I am able to find out who this is, sure as shit, I'm going to bring it up and say, yep, this is that person that said these things on Blue Sky. And that is blacklisted. It's like, sorry, you're out of the industry. These people cannot be allowed to flourish in the game industry if they're going to be making up allegations against companies trying to destroy them. Sorry. And again, if it did happen, you should have contacted a lawyer, gone to HR, and made a massive scene about that the second it happened. So miss me with this. Oh, yeah, it totally happened years ago. And this other fantasy stuff that totally happened. Just trust me, bro. Yeah, I bet it did. We'll leave that there.